Hello, welcome everybody to our Tuesday leadership Zoom. I am super excited. We're going to jump right in today because I have lots and lots of questions for our guest. This week, we have Susan Coffman on, who I cannot wait to hear her story. It's crazy because I don't think I know all of it. So I can't wait to dive right in. Susan, are you on with us?
I am. Can you see me? Can you
I
hear me?
can. Yay, you're awesome. Susan, so I'm just going to kind of like go through a whole bunch of questions. Like I am going to pick your brain like crazy. Um, you're like, I love questions. And I'm like, I like asking them to rock stars. I want to start in the beginning, like in the beginning of Susan. Where were you before network marketing? Like, what were you doing? How long have you been in this industry? Like, did you do other things before Lavelle? And then how did you find Lavelle? And then we'll go from there.
Okay. So when Lavelle came into my life, I was actually a marketing director for a huge car dealership. There was probably 12 dealerships. I did everything but the online piece. I did paper. I recorded commercials. I was in commercials. I did everything public relations that I could possibly do. And I was doing that. I did that for 8 years. I actually have a degree in advertising marketing from Texas A&M, but I wasn't really using it up until that very point. Prior to Lavelle, though, the only other direct sales multi-level marketing thing I'd really been in was Mary Kay. And I will tell you, it's now been 19 years. I started Mary Kay 19 years ago. 6 years ago, I turned that business over to my daughter. So my 16-year-old daughter at 10 years old started running that business, basically sending text messages, doing reorders, because it's kind of like Maria told me when she started me in Lavelle, any kind of product that is consumable, such as skincare, makeup, vitamins, it goes into your body, it comes off, it comes out, you have to keep restocking it, right? So Mary Kay was a very consumable product, so I had built that with just reorders. Like my daughter makes a nice little income every month because she runs that business for me, and that because I don't have time to do it, I can't do it. But you hate to give up something that you've built that long, right? And she'd probably be 10 times better at it anyway. But so that was the only direct sales, I guess, really that I understood. That was working from home or going and doing makeovers or whatever. When Lavelle came into my life, it literally was because, as usual, I was a tired, exhausted mom. I was drinking too many Dr. Peppers. I was burning the candle at both ends. I was a single parent at that time with 2 kids. I was working 40 to 50 hours a week. I didn't feel good. Maria calls. And I had the choice to be a customer promoter, but when she talked to me about it, she's like, you remember when you joined Mary Kay and you always told me that you wished you were in the beginning stages of that business, because I was successful at that business. I had won a car. I had been 2 cars. I had been on a trip. I was able to stay home with my babies when they were babies because of that business. She's like, do you remember when you told me, because I've known Mario for years, she said, you wished you were kind of on the beginning baby ground floor of that business. At that time, Mary Kay had been around for 40 years, right? And I always thought, man, if I could have just been there in the beginning, not that I wanted to be that old, but I could be so successful. And she was like, I'm giving you that opportunity right now. When you joined that other company, you had to pay $100 to be part of that company. You don't have to pay to be part of this. When you joined that other company, you had to buy a $2,400 inventory. You don't have to buy an inventory with this. All you're doing is ordering your products. Well, that made perfect sense to me. And it didn't seem, that was kind of a no-brainer, right? So that is how I became a promoter in this business. That's how, but I will be very truthful with y'all. I did not want to run a business as a single parent and, making an extra $100, $200 a month for my Mary Kay at the time, which was easy. I wasn't doing facials or anything anymore. That was my fun money. My job was my money to take care of my family. And I was already, as a single parent, you just have that whole guilty mom syndrome. You hate to take anything else away from them. And I knew that having another business would be time, right? And so I was very hesitant about it. So I thought, well, if I just get my 2 friends so that I can thrive for free, I might make an extra $50. All right. And that is where it started. And here's
You
where
know,
we
you know what is cool? I mean, honestly, oh, I just have like a question for you. Do you still have that Mary Kay business? I mean, in your daughter's name? I mean, are you
it's
still
actually
profiting
still in,
from it?
it's
Because
actually still in
here's
my
the
name.
deal. How
It's still in
cool
my
is
name
it
because
that you
she's
build up residual income? I just think people need to understand how important that is. Like, you're not even running a business anymore, but it is bringing in money. And that is what I hope people hear, because you guys are creating a legacy for your family with Lavelle. And I think, as you know, Susan, and I'm sure you can confirm, the money that you're making with Lavelle far exceeds anything you could have ever made with Mary Kay, right?
but at the time of the amount of money I was making with Mary Kay and being able to stay home with my kids, that was fine with me.
Oh yeah,
I mean, poverty
absolutely.
level now. That would probably be poverty level now. But I am Briston basically just does text messages. She can drive now, so she delivers people's products to them. If they ask her a particular question, she may come and say, "Mom, what's the best eyeshadow for this?" or something. She may do that, but it was a consumable product. So when I started it, I'm not kidding y'all, not 19 years later, I still have some of the same people who reorder every month. I have done nothing on their face for 18 and a half years, I would say. So, but now they love it because they get a text message from her. I only
It's
let her
just
keep
so
25.
cool. It's just so
Yeah,
freaking cool
it
that
is.
you
It's
can.
building a legacy. She's watching me do this business, so she totally gets this business. I only let her keep 25% of the profit because I built that other business. When she turns 18, we can turn it all over to her.
It's just so cool. Like, you guys, you're working for a legacy. Like, it's just so cool. And when you came to Lavelle, and you like, did you had so you signed up right away? You're like, okay, I'm gonna just see where this goes.
Mhm.
Did you expect the products to do anything? Like, did you feel something right away, or were you kind of like, okay, I got this stuff, it's not working for me, what the heck was she talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I ordered it because I trusted Maria. I mean, I've known her since I was a kid, but I was realistic that nothing else had worked. Why would this work? You know, but I am that kind of friend sometimes who just buys something from you because I'm trying to support your business, you know, and I felt like that's kind of what I was doing. No, I took it on the first day and had absolutely nothing happen. And I was like, oh, great. I just spent all this money and it's not going to happen. And she was so funny. She was like, really, Susan? One day? You didn't get yourself in this position in one day. Did you really think you would get out of it in one day? But by day 3, I was noticing something. Day 6 was actually my aha moment. So 6 days and just, I was like, wow. But I will tell y'all something. I had already started telling people about this product before mine ever came in, because you know we have 14 days for that VIP period. And back when we all started, I don't know when y'all all started, it took 7 days for my products to come in. Plus it was a holiday, it was Thanksgiving week. So I didn't get my products for 7 days. And then it was 6 days before I had my aha moment. That's 13 days. What if I would have waited till that 13th day to tell anybody? But I didn't. I started telling people and they were like, so what is it? And I was like, I have no idea, but apparently I sell it now. So you just need to do it. You know, and I mean, it was really my mentality. Just give me your credit card. Don't ask any questions. If I got to do it, you got to do it too. That is literally how I hit VIP 800 before the products were even in my hand. Thank God it worked out, because I would have just been humiliated if it didn't.
Well, there's a lot of people right now that we're signing people. I know I just did. I just signed someone last week that they were like, I don't know what this is. How am I supposed to share it with other people? I have not tried it yet. And they started, and I'm like, don't wait. We need to like get people in a message now. And they're like, but what do I say? I know we get that all the time. Like, how I think it's your excitement, but also I think people overthink it. Like, how many people have a friend? I mean, we all have those, ride or die friends that we can just call up and go, hello, you're doing this with me. Like, I
Yeah.
think people just overthink it so much. But what tips do you have? Like, let's start here. What tips do you have for people that are signing people and then they get that reaction? Like, what would you do with that brand new person that has not tried the product yet, but you want to get them running immediately?
Well, just a couple of things. I would tell them to connect me with their friends because you're going to really rely off my story at first. And I'm probably going to go find a couple of stories on the Lavelle fan page for them to use to send out to their friends. No, they haven't had it yet, but they trusted me, so your friends should trust you. It really is that whole, well, I need to see how it works for me before I tell anybody. Then you need to sign up as a customer first, not as a promoter. Though I signed up as a promoter, did not have it. I literally just was like, oh my gosh, I got to hear Maria's story. And that's how I did it. She had 30 days on me. That was it. She had 1 month of taking this product and had a story. So I literally just connected her. I guarantee that girl helped me get my car bonus, my iPad bonus, everything, because she did all the talking for the first 35 people. And yet she still does some of that talking for me. But I just connected them. It was nothing. I would literally go, I would tell people, I would say, oh, I know I don't have it in my system yet, but here's the deal. You got to hear Maria's story. And I would dial her number, put it on speaker, and slide the phone across the table and let them listen to her. And it was great. I mean, people were attracted to her energy, so that helped. I mean, she got me to do it, so and I was excited. So it literally is connect them with somebody who does have a story and share some stories from the Lavelle fan page. Those are real people.
Here's the thing too. Like, I think in the beginning, like, a lot of people overthink it as far as, I don't know enough. And people don't use third-party credibility enough. It's like, throw them in a message with somebody who knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing when they first get started. I mean, even if you've tried the product, you still don't know what you're doing. And I also want to point out, you had been doing a business and building relationships for a long time before Lavelle. And I think sometimes people just see the highlight reel. They don't know the backstory. Like, they're comparing their beginning to someone else's middle. And it's like, you had trust with people. You had trust with people that trusted you. And you could call them and say, you've got to try this product. And I think that, if you're new on this Zoom today, just remember, everybody's story is different. Not everybody comes in and right away their friends and family are trusting them. It takes work sometimes, and you just have to remember that. So let's go through your timeline. How long did it take you to go to each rank in the company, just so everybody gets an idea of how long it took you to get to 200K, and then and how long you spent at each level? And then I'm assuming you did get your VIP bonuses and you went 4K in 30 days.
So this is really funny. I got my VIP 1600, and I was so excited about that check, or those two checks, because if y'all heard me say, I signed up during Thanksgiving week as a single mom. So the next biggest holiday was Christmas, right? So there was some extra money for Christmas. I wasn't gonna have to stress about Christmas. I was so excited about that $1,320 that I didn't tell anybody about Thrive in my third week. In my third week, I talked about Thrive not at all. Bad idea, because my next check, guess how much it was? It was $0. I didn't talk to those people who had signed up as a promoter to do their VIP. So you see the checks in my back at the very beginning, bam, bam, $0. So I really kicked it in gear that following week. So in 4 weeks, I'd hit 4K. In 6 weeks, I hit 12K. What was real funny about that 12K, though, I worked for a car dealership. I didn't care one bit about that car bonus. I drove a free car. I drove a nice free car because I worked for a car dealership and I was their marketing person. So, but then she was like, but wait, that's $300 even if you don't have the luxury car. Well, that was my utility bill, guys. So I was like, oh, well, then we're running for it. So I hit the 12K in 6 weeks, 40K that following full month, 80K after 4 months, and then 200K after 5 months. And then I went backwards, and I lost my 200K about 2 months into having it. So that was a big eye opener too, but it did not stop me. It was a great product. I just had gotten comfortable, as a lot of people can do. They get very complacent with extra money. And I was like, no. This is going, if I keep this going, I could be out of debt other than my house. And start a different life for my children. And that is exactly what I did. And even after I hit 200K, I did not quit my job. It was a whole nother year before I left my job. So you can imagine the stress level in that, working 40 to 50 hours a week and being a 200K in this business. That's a lot of work. But my children were they understood it. They got it. And they were sure reaping the benefits of it. So
Yeah, it's scary, I think, like when you're like cruising along in the business, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden you fall back. You're like, wait, is this falling apart? What's happening? Why did I do that? And I think that a lot of people don't know that. They think you hit 200K and it's just smooth sailing.
Better
No
become a
worries.
millionaire.
Right. No worries. It's just so
No.
easy now. I always say the real work kind of starts at 200K. That's where it gets hard. Like that's where you have like a huge team underneath of you that you have to like balance your time. But not only that, at 200K, you pretty much ran out of your market. Like you got to go out there and you got to go find new people that you have to build relationships with and start this thing all over again. So it's kind of like it's kind of like where the real work starts. And there's a lot of people that, you know, whoever's on here right now, you might have gotten to 12K and fallen out. Maybe you've gotten to 40K and fallen out, or 80 or 200. It is so common. I mean, it's so common. I fell out of 200K. I went 200K in 30 days. I mean, y'all, that is, there's no way that a solid business can be built in 30 days. You know, no matter how fast you go at something, you realize, wow, there's a lot of people dropping off. This is network marketing, any business. I mean, I worked in a restaurant for 25 years. The turnaround in a restaurant was ridiculous. We were always hiring new people because people were always quitting. So it's the same thing. You kind of have to look at it like that. So when you got to 200K and then fell out, do you just think it was because you went so fast and a lot of people were kind of just dropping off? Or do you think you fell into management mode a little bit and kind of stopped doing what you were supposed to do? Like, did you kind of analyze it or and freak out?
I think a lot of people did what I did. You know, I had a lot of people who hit 12K and then got happy about it and then stopped working. Well, you can't maintain a 12K if you don't keep working. Um, I think I don't really know that I went into too much management mode. I didn't have time for that. I was working a full-time job, taking care of 2 kids and trying to run a business. Now, there would be a point, but I eventually figured that out, that I had to balance that a little bit better. But I just, honestly, I think it was because a lot of people got very complacent. And we see that all the time, like when people get bonuses that they don't have to maintain each month. Uh, it happens. And so, and I still see that, to today. That people on your team get, that they just get like that. I don't know. That's why you constantly, no matter what position you are in, if you're a 12K, 40K, 80K, 200K millionaire, you have to constantly be adding new people. You have to constantly be building. You don't get to sit back unless you're ready to retire and then expect for your business to go down, because they follow the leader. But I mean, it's a very given, proven fact. And I see Amber on here, and I know any of these other leaders, you don't get to slow down. So when your people start to slow down, I mean, they're going to end up losing their business. It ultimately will affect you. That's why you got to keep adding.
Yeah, I mean, people do follow the leader. And if you decide, you know, I think one thing that everybody on here needs to understand is the same people that get you to 12K are not going to be the same ones that get you to 40 and all the way up the ladder. Like, I look now at the people that like were in my business at 200K and like I'm talking 40, 80Ks that are no longer here. It's like I'm so glad that I didn't sit back and put my business in their hands and say, "Oh, well they're going to keep working, so I'm just going to chill out for a minute. I'm going to relax. I'm not going to like get out there and continue to grow." I think it's so important that, you know, when you get to a place, and I think that's the other thing too, is people like are so shocked that they got to where they are and they're like, what just happened? I just got here. I never thought I could get here. And then they kind of start doubting themselves a little bit too. Or, you know, the other thing I think a lot of people do is the comparison thing, where they're like, wait a second, maybe I'm not good at this because so and so is already at this rank and I'm still sitting here trying to get my first customer. And I think that that's where so many people quit. They say like most people quit in the beginning of their business for 2 reasons. The first is that they are comparing themselves and they think they're not good, or it's not going to happen for them. And the second is other people. They listen to what other people are saying if they don't have that support, which is so crazy that we, like as humans, we rest our lives on the thoughts of other people that don't pay our bills and that like we don't even talk to. How have you like over this time, because you've been in now since, gosh, a month after Maria, so 7 years-ish almost.
Yeah.
First of all, how have you, like, not in that 7 years, like, gotten caught in the comparison thing where you're like, wait a second, why is this person doing this, or why didn't they fall out? But also, how do you continue to, like, grow your network? It's been 7 years. Like, how do you find people?
Well, I am not even going to sit here and tell you that I don't have the comparison game. And my sweet little friend Amber on there gets to listen to me do that a lot and then puts me back in perspective quickly. When I had been in this business for 6.5 years, and it took a little under 5 years to hit the millionaire stage, and people who were not even here a year hitting the millionaire stage, you cannot help but compare yourself to that. When somebody in your downline hits the millionaire stage before you do, just a couple of weeks, but she did before me. That's hard to take. That's hard to, it's a gut check. However, when you really come back and go, you know what, I'm pretty stinking blessed. And so let's focus on that. Let's focus on the good and not let that stuff overwhelm me. And one of my downline became one of my BFFs in this business and in life is Lindsay Dickens. And she will always tell you never to compare your chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 20. You have no idea what they walked through. They could have lifted and shifted a team. You have no idea, it's not necessarily that they're any better than you are. Just different people came along. And the comparison game is hard, especially as women. I mean, come on. We see everybody's highlight reel on social media. We think we're not measuring up as a mom. We think we're not measuring up as a wife. We think we're not measuring up in our physical physique, So it's hard. I think about the age of 45, I figured that out. So here's where we are today. Now, 6.5 years later, how do I continue to build my network? It is a challenge, but I will tell you, on every trip we've been on, how many have we been on? 18? I bet 15 of them I have been on the VIP piece of it. For a reason, because I strive to constantly build my network. So social media is huge. I'm adding people on social media all the time. I do not add pedophiles. I do not, if they look weird, they do not. I don't always add men. If we have anywhere more than 60, 70 friends in common, I'm going to add them to my network. I am constantly in Messenger reaching out to people. It may not even be about Thrive. I may be talking about their birthday, like today, everybody's birthday. I'm like, hey, by the way, this is a weird birthday for you. I'm giving you complete permission to eat the whole darn cake. That is how I started my conversation with those people today. When I start my conversations and continuously build relationships with people I may barely know, eventually they're going to ask what I'm doing and they're going to trust. But I will tell you, Kayla Fox talks about this all the time. You will go through seasons of constantly planting seeds, and then you are constantly watering while planting new ones, and then they finally bloom, but you're still planting and you're still watering, and so it's a constant thing going and going and going, and you can't ever stop. I will tell y'all, like I have my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sheet, this little thing right here. I looked yesterday, and just people that I constantly am in contact with, I've been talking, they're kind of the top of my radar. There's 75 people on the top of my radar. Thank God. Because last week when we had a stimulus package, it took 6 of those. Well, so there was 81 last week. 6 of those flipped over and finally ordered, and that's how we hit the stimulus package. Thank goodness I had those 75 people that were on my radar, that we were building a relationship with, that we were talking about Thrive. Maybe they sampled, maybe they haven't. Now, I don't know what the heck's wrong with these other 75 people. I don't know why they haven't flipped over. They will eventually. I'll get to them. But you constantly have to have that list running. If you look at your back office and your free accounts or your follow-up list and you don't even have 3 people, then you've got to make some changes. You've got to be reaching out more. You've got to be sending messenger more, and don't be afraid of it. What's the worst they can do? I don't know. I can't take your children.
You have to have a list. If you're on here right now and you don't have a list, unless you have only been in a week, that's your only, and even then, whoever's your upline, you need to get with them and say, help me create a list, because we need a list. Like, there's always, I have 3 lists. I'm transferring people over. These are the people I haven't talk to about Thrive. These are the people that have talked to me, but they haven't signed yet. These are the people that are on the fence. You know, you've got like, you got to constantly be spending your time building relationships with other people, and you have to find the time to do it too. You know, you can't get up in the morning and if you have 2-3 people under you, concentrate all day on helping them.
Mhm.
That's great, help them, but a lot of times we're dragging people along. Like, when do you make a decision, I can't drag this person anymore? Or do you have like I know you get this question all the time because I do. Lisa, what, I've got this girl, but I don't know what to do with her because she's just not like really doing anything. What should I do? Or what can I do to make her work?
And you know what? I probably have a different perspective of this now than I did back when I started, because back when I started, I needed every single person doing a little bit, and I didn't want to make anybody mad, and I didn't want to forget about anybody, because if I did, I might drop back. If you're constantly adding people, you just need to know people are not going to keep going. So here is something Courtney Glazer actually gave me this word of advice. She said, have you ever been trying to run and your children are pulling on the back of your shirt and you're trying to run, but they're pulling on it and you just want to slap them? You can't, but you just want, get off of me. Well, they won't, right? She's like, these are your promoters who are dragging you back. You're trying to run, you're trying to get to the next level, and they're holding you back because you're constantly having to motivate them and you're constantly having to encourage them, and they constantly have something going on that they can't do their job. You got to cut the shirt and say, listen, I'm running with this business and I want you to run with me, but I just can't drag you. I can't. If this is not what you want, we will part as friends, and I completely understand. But if you do, I'm running and you got to run with me. And that was just such a good metaphor to like put that into perspective so I can really visualize that. And when I did that, it did give me the opportunity to take off running and go and go and go, and not feel guilty about not constantly motivating and dragging people along. That's exhausting. There are people in this world who want what you want, and they are willing to work for it. There are others who want what you have, but they're not willing to work for it. You just have to love on them. Give them that little bit of attention every once in a while, and be real. I am running and I want you to run with me, but I cannot force you to do this business. So you don't tell me what I want to hear. You do what's in your heart. I'm right here and I'm ready to go when you are. And that's really, really it.
Yeah, have a talk. Just say,
Yeah.
look, this is the situation. I'm here when you need me, but I'm not going to be in your messenger every day anymore, because at this point I feel like a boss. I feel like a manager. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my
Absolutely.
job. My job is to encourage you and inspire you. And I can't do that if I'm sitting here with you.
Right.
Right. I love that. You know, in the last 6.5 years, have you, I think sometimes again, people think it's kind of just easy sunshine and rainbows, and they don't realize like all the life that happens in 6.5 years. And, we still have all these things thrown at us in real life, but in our business too. And I think one of the most devastating things for me is when I lose a big leg. If I see somebody that, I poured into and built a relationship with, and they're a large part of my business, fall off. Like, it's hard. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have gone into freak out mode before. Like, is this all going to fall apart if this person is gone, or if this leg goes away? And you just kind of like freak out a little bit. You do. I don't know how to explain it, but it also puts you in kind of like a depression, in me anyways. And I stayed in bed, I cried for a couple days and then I realized I cannot let someone else dictate my dreams. Like, I got to get out of this bed. Have you ever lost like a big leg, or have people left you along the way that you were like, that kind of devastated you, I guess?
Well, sadly, they don't necessarily ever leave. They continue to collect a paycheck, but they don't
Ugh.
leave anymore. I'll tell you, I have seen some things, and I hope I don't offend anybody on this, but the little glitter cups that you like have you seen those? They're really cool. They have all kinds of stuff in there. How many people on my team have a great business with Lavelle and decide to start making the glitter cup, spending hours a day making a $30 cup, watch their business just plummet? And I'm like, if you'd quit making the damn cups and work your business, you'd probably be really happy.
You're killing me right now. I keep thinking about eyelashes. I'm like, if you put this much time into your business that you're doing these eyelashes, you'd be a millionaire.
It is so true. And I hope I didn't offend anybody, or if I did, maybe you just needed to hear it. I don't know. But I have watched that and I'm like, why is $30 a cup and all that time even remotely a good idea? Are you just complacent again in your business? And then they watch their business fall. And then I get a call. Oh my gosh, nobody's working in my team. Really? They're not working? You have been doing something else. Therefore, they're not working. I've also had big leaders, again, not leave. They still collect their paycheck, decide to just go do something different. And now, if they do something that is against compliance, obviously they get shut down. But you know, when the leader does that, what happens usually? They take a lot of those people with them, and trying to maintain these people with this person in the way it's very frustrating. And I would say maybe once a week, I have one of those where I just want to bang my head up against the wall and be like, what is wrong with people? I literally let Satan and the fear come in. Like the day that stimulus package was announced, I literally let Satan talk to me for 10 minutes. There's no way you're going to find that much new volume in 8 days, 9 days, however many days we had. It's not going to happen. I mean, I literally listened to that and I got over it. But you can't help but have, you know, if you want to have your crying fit, go have it. As Maria always says, and as I now say to my people, okay, you got 5 minutes to complain, cry, bitch, moan, whatever you want to do, whine about it. And then it's time, you got to get back to work. You cannot let this consume you. Now, sometimes I take 30 minutes. I will go watch an episode of Friends or something funny that takes my mind off of it, but I do not let that consume me. And I walk away from it. I will shut the computer, turn the phone off, close the office door, go focus on something else for 30 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, now we cannot let them dictate our future. We have built a business here. Let's move forward. Now, as mad as you may be at them or whatever, get over it. You don't have time for that. So, Maria gives us 5 minutes. I usually take 30. I give my people 5. They probably take 30. You can gripe, moan, complain, throw things, hit a pillow, be mad as fire, but you got to get over it. It cannot consume you.
Yeah, it can't. Like, it's those things that completely like warp your mindset. And if you let one bad day turn into 2, that turns into 10. That's like taking 2 months off your business. I always say like 1 week off of your business is literally like starting over. And that is why so many people on this Zoom today feel like they're always starting over because they're never consistent. Like, it's so important. And, you know, when you're starting out a new promoter, like let's say I'm in your inbox today and I'm like, Susan, I'm ready to do this. Walk me through what you would tell me. What would you do with me for the first like 14 days?
Awesome. Well, I just got one yesterday. So you're in business. The first, I mean, she was asking me, you know, I love my product. I'm a customer now. I'm nervous about switching to promoter. You know, what do you think? And I said, well, are you coachable? And she said, yes. I said, do you trust me? You've built, and I've never met her. She is a referral of some other friends. And she said, yeah, I mean, I've been thriving with you now for a couple of months. I do trust you. And I said, then that's all we need to know. So what I need you to do is go into your back office. I need you to read that button that says, thinking about becoming a promoter, whatever it says. And if it sounds good to you, click the button next to it that says become a promoter. And she said, okay. I said, that's your first order of business. And she was like, okay, I'll call you back in a little bit. So she did. And I said, well, you were in luck. Tonight we have a VIP call, which we did. We had a VIP Zoom. But I immediately send them the Let's Go VIP thing that Maria created. It's a bot that goes into their inbox. All of us were her beta testers, I guess. So we walked through it. We know what it says. I know what it's going to do. If you have not done the Let's Go VIP bot, you just need to do it, whether you're in VIP or not. Just do it. It's good for you. And it's on Facebook. Just type in Let's Go VIP, share it, get the link, like it, get started. It starts coming to your inbox. So I have them start there first. And then we go through the VIP call and we literally break it down, because y'all, sometimes that whole VIP thing can just blow somebody's mind when they think they have to have $1,600 in volume. Oh my gosh, how am I ever going to do that? That's exactly what they think. And so we don't overwhelm. I never throw so much at them that they're like, I'm out, because I don't need them to quit before they get started, right? So they've got the bot. I've probably done some sort of, if they didn't get on the VIP training, because maybe they sign up today, then I send them at least one that's been recorded. And then I start with, let's do a list. I want your ride or die people. No matter if you were selling cocaine, they'd probably buy it from you. Don't do that. If you were launching anything, whatever it was, these are your ride or die people that would probably order from you just because they love you and they're going to help you. I need that list. Then I need your list of people that you know would benefit from this product. You know what happened with you. You know, now these are people obviously who have already thrived. You know that this is a good product. You know your story, whatever. I want those people that you know need it. And then your third list is people who are really like business minded and would probably be looking for an opportunity. Any of those lists could overlap. Let's make that list and start that VIP bot. That's what we're doing today. They have to understand they are going to be locking arms with me for 14 straight days. No matter, there is no time off. This is a part-time business. It is not a summertime business, but in the first 2 weeks, we are busy because we got a lot to do. But I don't ever want to overwhelm them. So that's really where we start. And it's very simple. So today my girl's on day 2 and I got another one on day 7 and we're going back and forth, just working nonstop together.
Yeah, I think it's just putting yourself out there and making sure that you're staying connected. And, you know, lots of times, and I mean, I've signed people that tell me they want to do it, and by day 3, I'm not even getting an answer back from them, which is
Right.
like, what is wrong? You said you were so excited 3 days ago. So that happens to everybody, guys. Just remember that. Like, you're not the only one that signed somebody that seems so excited, and 3 days later, they're like nowhere to be found. But also remember that it does really matter what you do. You can't just sign someone up and go, okay, call me tomorrow. Don't put the ball in their court. I don't anyways. I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be in your messenger and we're going to come up with a game plan. Okay, what time can you be on a Zoom with me, a FaceTime, whatever? Like, you have to dictate what to do next, guys, because most people are used to having a boss. Like, if they've never done network marketing before, they've had a boss their whole life. Whether it was their teacher, their parents, their boss at work, they're used to somebody saying, this is the next step. Go do this now. And if you're just saying, they own their own business, they should be coming to me. No, they shouldn't. They don't know what they're doing. So remember that. Like Susan said, are you creating a list with them? Are you like excited for them? How big of a role do you think three-way third-party credibility is in your business even now? Like, do you feel like it's part of something that you do all the time? Does your team, are you constantly in like messages and calls? Like, how huge is it for your team, do you think?
Now, 3-way calls, we do a lot of those still, but I would say our 3-way messengers are 80% versus 20% on our connections. I think they are huge. And I will tell you this all the time. When somebody is not where they want to be in this business and they're doing this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sheet like it's on steroids, and I'm on every call, I listen to every training, I'm putting positive things in my mind, I'm reaching out to 37 people a day, I've done 40 follow-ups, and I've added 27 people to my network, and I've connected with you every day, but this is not growing. They're missing one thing. They're always missing the thing that scares everybody, and that is the connection. I don't understand why people are nervous about it, other than they're like, oh, I don't want her intruding on my friends, or she's going to try to sell them something. My friends don't want to be talked to and sold something. So here's the deal. And you have to start your people on a 3-way chat or a 3-way call, or they're never going to understand it. And you need to remind them, hey, do you remember when me, you, and so talked? This is what me, you, and your new people need to do now. Okay. So I literally always tell them, do not tell them you're putting them on the phone or chat with your upline. Never say that. That freaks them out. Do not ask permission. I have never had anybody get mad at me because I put them in a chat with Maria or whoever. Ever. Get over it. If you are not doing at least 2 connections today, even if you are already in this business, but you have a new promoter and you're 6.5 years in this business and you're a millionaire, you don't need to connect with anybody. Baloney. Yes, you do. They've seen you. They need to hear from somebody else. They need to know we're a community, that we're here to help them. So do not ask to put them in a group message. Just do it. So I do it all the time. I have, hey, Maria, this is my friend Katie. Katie is deciding on whether or not she wants to be a promoter. I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and connect her with you and let you tell your story. Katie, this is Maria. Maria, tell me all about Lavelle, and I really would like for her to just share her simple story with you. Maria, take it away. Done. It's done. Now Katie knows me, and she knows Maria. Well, that's cool. Okay, so if I have a new customer who's like, I want to know more about your weight loss stuff, but I've had, 3 weight loss surgeries. Okay, well, that is not me. I haven't had weight loss surgery. So I go find somebody on my team who's had weight loss surgery. And I'm like, hey, hang on just a second. I'll be right back with you. Connected thing. Hey, Sally, this is my friend Sharon. I'm just making up names because I don't want y'all to know who's had weight loss surgery. And this is my friend Sharon. Sharon, it was in the same position as you and loves her Thrive, though she's had 2 different weight loss surgeries. She's found huge success with this product. Sharon, please meet Sally. Sally is on the fence whether she wants to order or not because of this. Can you kind of help her out a little bit? I have no business trying to sell somebody something on that subject. I can't. So why not connect them with somebody else? So I literally work my tail off every day trying to do those connections. I love it when people put me in connections because it just gives me a chance to tell my story, which obviously always makes me feel better and reminds me of why I do this business every day. Does that help?
I love that. I hope people heard you when you said, I think this is so key. When you said, it's the connection. If you're doing all the things right, it is so true. I always tell people, you're working in the wrong market or you're not making the connections. Like, it is amazing to me. Like, we all get egos. We all do. Like, there's times where I'm like, if I can't close this person, no one can. Like, I'm like, if I'm the best closer. There ain't no way if I put them in a message with Chas, or Amber, they're gonna be closed right now. And then when I don't close them after 6 months and I finally get over myself and shove them in a message and they sign in 1 second, you humbly go, okay, I need to stop this madness thinking that I know what I'm doing and I got it covered. You guys, it is truly, we cannot relate to all people. Like Susan just said, if you're doing all the things right, you're connecting, you're adding new people, you're plugging in, you're like the Thriveaholic, then why the heck aren't you signing people? Like, at some point we have to get over ourselves and whatever is holding us back from I don't know if it's control, release of the control of power or what is going through people's heads. But gosh, guess what? I don't care if I ever talk to anyone. I'll put them in a 3-man message every day if that means my paycheck's going to grow. We have got to get over ourselves. I also am wondering what you do to with all this COVID stuff going on. Mentally, I think people just need to stay healthy. They just do. And I know you do a lot of morning calls and prayers. And I mean, I just thought it was the most amazing thing when you reached out to me and said, can I pray for your uncle? It's just, I can tell that you're one of those self-development girls that you keep your head in check. And it's so important, especially right now, because there's a lot of people right now on this very Zoom, they're letting fear take over. And they are letting their minds tell them, kind of like you did with the stimulus thing. There's no way I'm going to get 1,200 in orders. There's no way. I said the same thing, Susan, and I did it. You did it. So we did it. I was like, oh my God, 1,200 in orders during the virus? I let my mind totally oh my gosh, there's no way. And I totally did it. Yes, it was the last day, but I did it. Okay. And here's the thing. I think there's a lot of people on here that they are paralyzed. How are you kind of navigating your team through this, but just yourself? How are you not assuming that everybody's broke and that you can't put out the wrong post and that, oh my gosh, I don't want to say this.
Yeah. So I will say this, how many of y'all, you can kind of show me your hands, how many of y'all read positive affirmations every day? I mean, your I am statements. I am a great leader. Here's my latest one. I am being called for a 200K documentary. That's my biggest goal right now. My daughter is a varsity 2020 cheerleader. My kids make the best decisions ever. My weekly paychecks excite me. My checks are double from the week before. Those are my positive affirmations that I say every day out loud, over and over. I'm a great mom. I'm a great wife. I'm a great leader. I say all that stuff. And I truly, honestly believe those things. Positive affirmations work. Negative affirmations do too. So if you constantly have a fear and that's what you dwell on, guess what? That's going to come true. And I mean, immediately when things started getting shut down, oh my gosh, how are we going to keep selling our product with everybody losing their jobs? Everybody ain't lost their job. A lot of people have lost their job, but not everybody's lost their job. I have friends right now who are working double and triple shifts because they are working at a hospital, or they're working at a grocery store, or they're working at, in the power industry. My husband's job doubled. There's certain industries, yes, they've lost their jobs temporarily. Okay, we understand that. Hey, I have reached out to people and they're like, Susan, my job is just unsteady. I just can't do this right now. Absolutely not a problem. Hey, I'm going to be praying for you. Thank you so much for getting back to me. I don't take it personally. I don't, whatever. I just move on to the next person, because even last week before last one, she said that exact same thing. Well, when the free sculpt thing came out, which was something she was originally interested in, I literally reached back out to her and I said, hey, listen, I know you had told me you weren't so sure about your job right now, but this just launched. I just wanted to check in with you. I hope things are going better. What do you think? She was like, oh, my job is fine. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And then she ended up ordering other stuff like Boost and things because she wanted her immune system better. And I have daily, especially in my little town that I live in, Susan, how is your business? My business is great. Now, it's not always great every single day, but that is how I feel. I'm going to say it out loud. I am not going to get in a position, well, I'm in direct sales or in multi-level marketing, so I'm sure it'll just be a few months before I start to see the decline. It's going to happen. I don't even talk that way. I can't do that. The 5 minutes that Satan had a hold of me the other day, I eventually laughed. I was like, did you totally not see that that's just what happened? Get over it. And I didn't just finish at 1,200. I was almost at 1,600 by the time we were done. And it was converting people from one side of the list to the other. I realized that there are some people who are going to be in a position where they cannot order right now. And you just tell them, hey, you know what? I get it. Thank you for getting back to me. I'm going to kind of put you on my prayer list, and you go to the next person. I was very vocal about where some companies are laying people off. Some people are having to work more hours for less pay. My company just guaranteed me a 50% pay increase. Man, am I glad. It's so blessed. And then a couple of posts later was, hey, I got time to mentor 3 people. Who wants to join me? 2 people took me up on that because they had seen that, and here we go. So you staying in the right mindset, man, it is tough when you are stuck in a house, which most of us, if we work from home, we're kind of used to that anyway. When your children are going crazy because they can't be around their friends, when there are things in the outside world going on, but just staying in a positive mindset. If you do get in that negative mindset, because maybe you keep seeing stuff on Facebook or you've gotten 4 bad messages in a row, shut the computer, turn it off, go watch an episode of Friends, 1, and come back and start over. It's okay. Sometimes you have to walk away from it, but it's not, I just don't let it consume me. And on the days that I see it consuming me, I walk away. I'm like, okay, let's go do something else. We got to find something positive. And I do just that.
I was thinking about it kind of like in one day, I got a text message from my hairstylist. She's like, oh, I'm mixing up colors for everybody to keep their roots. If you want to stop by, I'm going to leave them outside my door. And I'm like, she didn't hesitate. She didn't probably think, I wonder if Lisa's got the money, or who her clients that she sent it to. Amazon didn't go, well, I guess we're just going to shut down right now because probably nobody can afford to buy anything. Like, y'all, other people, I'm still getting ads. Are y'all in my Facebook as I'm scrolling through? I'm still getting ads every day about things I need to buy, and I'm buying it. Like, more than ever, people are bored and home, and we're just making assumptions. Like, stop assuming that everybody doesn't have the money, because they're actually probably have more money than they usually have because they can't go out and spend it. Like, they can't go places and spend it anywhere. It's crazy.
I think too that you need to understand that people are at home and they're shopping online. They might as well be buying something for themselves that's going to make them feel better and help their immune system. So that's kind of just where I've kind of been going with. I'm not saying that we cure COVID, not at all, but and then if something does go wrong, I just post something. That dang Rona. I blame everything on the Rona.
But it's the way you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Like, people are out there buying junk. I know, because I'm doing it. Like, I just bought junk yesterday. So why wouldn't we feel good about something that we could possibly help people? I mean, again, we're not saying we cure the virus, but who doesn't want a healthy immune system right now? Who doesn't need to be on some great supplements and vitamins? And it's crazy how many people. The other day, my girlfriend's in another network marketing company, and I was scrolling through her products, and we were doing like a little swap. And I was scrolling through her products, and anything that said immune support was sold out. Anything next to it that said immune, the word immune, it could have been immune gloves. It could have been immune lipstick. If the word immune was next to it, it was sold out. Like, if you all do not think that people need our immune system patch, built for immune systems, that's coming out to recharge your immune system overnight, if you don't think that can fly, y'all are crazy. Because, I mean, anything that has to do with immune support, hand sanitizer, sold out everywhere. Like,
Absolutely. Hey, that's some brilliant marketing right there.
we should just start putting immune next to our every name in the website.
Immune.
Right. I love it. Are you like a reader or a book, a listener? Like, do you have anything that you feel like, especially like if someone's new on and they've only been in a couple months and they're kind of like, I want to like start growing my mind. Are there any books that you're like, you've got to read this?
Okay, well, I don't sit down and read books because my mind will wander off. I was like that growing up. I don't know how I ever graduated from college. Shocking, actually. But I'm not that. But I do always have an earpiece in. And when I work my day in time chunks, I'll sit in here for an hour, then I'll go do something for 30 minutes, like do laundry, dust the house, disinfect my stinking house every single day. I will go and do different things. But the whole time I'm doing that other stuff, there's always something in my ear playing. And so, there's a lot of books that I listen to, and I listen to them a lot of times more than once. But probably some of my favorite ones is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. I think that's her. And it's literally like, when you fear doing something, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. Countdown, get it done. So that's a great one, and that goes with anything in life. 5 Successful Things That People Do Before 8 a.m. And that one is by Terry Savelle Foy. Hold on, but I will tell you, her voice will drive you batshit crazy. But anyway, it's a really good book. Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Anything by Brian Tracy, I just love. I'm trying to think of some other ones that anything by Grant Cardone. Now, I try not to listen to Grant Cardone while I'm driving because he makes me drive fast. I don't know. He gets me all hyped up. So you can't do that. But I always have something that I'm listening. Now, mind you, this is why sometimes I have to listen to the same book 3 times, but why not? So that it's just positivity going into my brain. And if I literally sit and focus on what somebody is saying, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. But I love it. I mean, that's how I do it. I only know what's going on in the world on the bad news because my husband is in the power industry, so he has to really stay on top of what's going on. And I get the Cliff Note version. That's all I want. I do not want to listen to press conferences, though I do get highly entertained by Donald Trump when he's in a press conference. I think he's hilarious, but I don't want to listen to all of that. I don't want to listen to the arguing and the bashing. I don't want to listen to it. I want the facts. Michael, give me the facts. I'm done. So I don't listen to the negativity each day. I constantly, I read my Bible every morning and I say big prayers every morning. That's how I start it. And you read this in the Bible that you've got to put your armor on each day, because no matter what you do, things are attacking you. And you've got to have that armor, that shield on to be able to fight that stuff off. If you do not have a lot of positive things in your life, like a positive community like we have right here, if you don't have that positive close group of friends that, you know, keep you lifted up when you need it, if you don't, if all you have is just the crap, you're going to break, and they're going to get through your shield easily. And so, and especially when you're in multi-level marketing, when you're running a business from the internet and your lifeline depends on people trusting you and following you and believing in you, you got to keep that up, especially when one comes back that's not very nice. You have to be like, okay, thank you, and move on. And if you don't have that shield, if you don't have that positivity of your brain, if you haven't read your affirmations every morning, if you haven't prepared yourself for the day, it's going to be tough. And I don't know about y'all, but right now we need all that we can get constantly. So does that kind of help answer your question?
No, it's perfect.
Like I kind of go off on a tangent.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, it's just so important to feed your brain with something, you know, like, gosh, something. Because if you're not growing, like, I don't even know what kind of person or leader I would be if it wasn't because of self-developing. Like, I don't know. I just can't even imagine life without it. And I don't know how I lived life for 36 years without it before I got into this industry. It's like, how did I live without, like, growing my mind and growing myself? And you mentioned one of my favorite authors, Brian Tracy. My favorite book on leadership is How the Best Leaders Lead by Brian Tracy. It's so good, you guys. One last question, and then y'all can go log into your cloud offices and look at your stimulus checks. If you have one tip, like one tip for somebody new just starting out, what would it be?
Lock arms with their leader. Lock arms with somebody you'd be willing to trade paychecks with.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Hey, there's one more thing, Lisa, I wanted to say in keeping your mind in the right place. And I don't know how many of y'all do this. I probably learned this from Kayla Fox too, is a gratitude journal. And some days in this world that we live in right now, it is hard to find 5 things that you're grateful for. But if you will continuously write 5 things down every day and then go back and read them, they're very entertaining. It's very hard to be in an anxious state of mind if you are finding the things that you're grateful for. So definitely kind of keep that in mind, and then lock arms with a leader. I always say that. I mean, if Maria told me to go run around the block 5 miles a day and I would be a millionaire, I would just do it because she said to do it. I would love to trade paychecks with her, right? I'm not going to listen to the person who's constantly complaining and they haven't been on a trip in 3 days and their woe is me, this world is falling apart, and oh my gosh, there's no way we can sell this product right now with everybody losing their job. I'm not listening to that person. I'm going to lock arms with the person who I see being successful, and I'm going to follow and do what they say no matter what. So
that's the best advice ever. It's the best advice ever. And I think one of the things that kind of, you know, I've been doing this Zoom for a year, well, almost a year and a half. And it is crazy. I've interviewed like not many people twice. I've interviewed almost a different 200K every week. And it is so crazy how every week we learn or hear something different. But we also hear a lot of the same things, just said different ways. And success does leave clues. Like, I just don't get what it's going to take for people to go do what people are telling them to do. It's like, how many 200Ks need to get on here and tell you to do a 3-way call? How many 200Ks need to get on here and tell you to do a gratitude journal? How many 200Ks need to get on here and tell you to, you know, not, you know, grow your network? Like, it's just, it's so crazy that it just doesn't sink in sometimes. But that's why I'm going to do this call every week and keep bringing on new 200Ks, because someday somebody's going to say it the right way. And you're going to hear it, guys, and you're going to go, I get it. And I know today, Susan, somebody heard you the right way. I know they did. And I'm excited because their journey starts today, because they got on a call like this, and it's a way to self-develop. So I just appreciate you so much. thank you so much for hopping on with us and sharing your story and your heart and your tips. I know you helped a lot of people today. And one of the things that stuck out that you said throughout this call is you mentioned a lot of other leaders' names. And I think that staying plugged in and to the people in our company, not leaders that are in different companies, not doing what we do, like that never makes sense to me. I do not get that. I'm going to follow the people in my company. And it doesn't have to be on, like you mentioned, Kayla Fox, she's under me. Like you've mentioned Maria, you've mentioned Amber. Like you're not just sitting and going, I know it all. You're plugging in and learning from other people. I always say I don't have an original thought. Like everything I have, I've taken from someone else. I put my own spin on it, but it's because I plug into all of you guys and we learn from each other. Success leaves clues. The answer is not out there in some paid ad from some guru that's going to sign you for $9.99 and they're going to teach you the secret of network marketing. The answer is here. The answer is right here. So thank you so much. Happy Stimulus Payday Tuesday to everybody. Go make your awesome payday post because somebody watching you right now in your network needs to see that post. It's going to be the post that they message you and say, I want in. So don't forget to make that post. And thank you guys for taking time out of your Tuesday to self-develop for the last hour and hear Susan's story. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Oh, every week, guys, this link, same time, same place, same link. Feel free to plug your teams in.